Okay, hello. Welcome. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Now let's get started. Let's see where we were yesterday. Oh yeah, so we're in the process of converting all of the GraphQL queries to C# objects, and we ran into a little bit of an issue yesterday because the fragments, most of them are for objects, right? But in the rare occasion of we using them in only a part of an object, they can't really be just an object. So somehow the parent object needs to inherit from the fragments for it to work in C#. Otherwise, we can't really do it like normal objects. So basically, if we come down here, there are a few examples of that. Yeah, so for this one, we have comments, right? And for the nodes, we have the reactable fields, the comment fields, and the minimizable fields. So all of these three will be basically deconstructed inside of the GraphQL query. So if I define these three fragments in C# like an object, they can't really be deconstructed in the C# object. So what I have to do for these ones is to create them like a interface. But the thing is, if I create them like an interface, there's no way I can still use them as a normal object. I wonder if I can do abstract class, but it's not too different. Abstract class from interface. But let's see, can I inherit from a class and an abstract class? So what if I did this? That's a no, right? It cannot have multiple base class. Yeah. That's the problem. But what I can do is that because it's an issuable, I can say this one inherits from ID. And I can just delete this. And if that works, yeah, that actually does work. So maybe there's a way. And in this case, because this is an issuable, I don't have to implement the same thing again. Yeah, that actually kind of works. So let's see. We have loginable that has a bunch of other things, and we're using it. Actually, no, loginable is basically just a type name, and the thing that implements it are these ones. User DTO, which does not have an ID, but it could if I want. So yeah, let's see if I can add user to ID to the user. Yeah, so they do have ID on this one. Yeah, sure, why not, right? So ID DTO and delete it from here. Turn it into abstract class. All right. Delete these two. Should be fine, I think. What else extends loginable? So we have we have user, we have team. Okay, that should be it. So for comment is down here, and basically right now it has everything that we have in the fragment. And what we need to do is to just maybe turn this into okay, what should I do with you? Abstract class should work fine for this. Okay. Abstract class. Okay, let's do minimizable. So let's extract this. Alright, and let's put it somewhere at the top. Like here. Nope, more like here. Let's define public abstract class minimizable DTO, and it's gonna have public boolean is minimized. Public boolean, oh actually no, that should be string. Min sorry, I was sneezing, so I turned off the mic. So let's do this. Minimized reason, and this should be another boolean. Okay, there we go. Keep going down. We're gonna have public abstract class for reactables. For reactable DTO. So it has ID, so we need to extend from ID, and yeah, so first thing first, a boolean for viewer can react. And for reactions, I'm thinking, because it's down here, right? We have something, yeah. We have content created at and the users. So okay, so it's gonna be public enumerable of nose DTO of reaction DTO, and we're gonna call it reactions, basically. That should be it, right? So yeah, this will be an abstract class where I can put this into other things. Okay, so going down to here, we have a few more things. Public. Yeah, that should be fine. Abstract class get actor DTO. And yeah, that should be the whole signature. And public string name, public string email, public, this one's gonna be date time offset for the date, and the next one is gonna be public, it's gonna be user DTO, and let's call it user, and that's pretty much it. Okay, next one is commit. For the commit, let's see, we already have something similar, because I believe we have to find it before. Okay, so here we go. Commit DTO, we have OID and author date, committed date, push. Do we have push date on this? We do not have push date on the object. Okay, so let's do it here. Push date. Okay, push date and message. Do I have message on this? Yes. Author, yes we do. So get actor fields for this one. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And committer. Do I have committer? We do not have committer, so we're missing a few things. That's fine. So we're gonna define this public string abbreviated OID for get and set, and additions. I don't really know what additions are. So additions is integer. Cool. So public and additions get and set. Author date, we have that authored by committer is a boolean, so alright, after that we have committed date, push date, what else? Author date, committed date, push date, committer, we're still missing committer, and for author we're actually gonna use the get actor, right? Get actor, yep, get actor DTO. So public get actor DTO, and we're gonna say committer, and yep. So we're not gonna have comments on this one, right? That's my understanding. Which is fine. Which is fine. Or should we have it? Like, if we are going to reconstruct it. But to be honest, this is a data transferring object. That's why we name it that way, right? It's a data transferring object. So it shouldn't contain anything that the data is not supposed to have. So in a way, we shouldn't have comments. So let's just delete it. And after delete this, we'll set this as abstract class and put it somewhere way up. I'm having some issue structuring this whole thing. But I think everything will be okay. So keep going down the list. We have simple pull request fields. Do we have something like this? Actually, I don't think we do. So public abstract class simple pull request DTO extends on ID DTO, and there's it should be integer, right? So for number, yep, it's integer, so that's that. And string for title, and repository. Wait, what's happening here? Already contains a definition for simple pull request. Where did I already do this? Oh, we did. Okay, so that was way up there. So let's see if we do have everything. So for it has number, title, repository. Yeah, that sounds good. Issuable extends from okay, so I did everything already. What's repository then? Repo has name, owner is a user. Yeah, that seems right. That everything checks out. I mean, we have to do ID here, but other than that, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Wow, I didn't realize I already did this. Okay, so simple pull requests and simple issues are done. Let's do refs then. Public abstract class ref DTO extends from ID DTO, and we're gonna have public string name, and we're also gonna have public string prefix, and yep, that should be it. After this, we have, oh wow, still quite a few things to go through, huh? Man, this is okay. Keep going. This is public abstract class. Let's call it deployment status DTO. That extends from ID DTO, and we have public date time offset for created at, and we also wait, what's happening? Creators user DTO, that's creator. Wait, what's happening here? This is created at description. There should be a string. Updated at dated, no. Updated at, okay, and then state should be fun because state is a enum, right? Yeah, so let's go see the definition. I don't think jumping to definition works in my local schema setup, so I still have to go through the Explorer, but it should be fun. And we are looking for the state right here. And yep, so these are the possible state of a deployment. Yeah, why don't we just go ahead and use it? I don't want to define everything right here right now. I mean, I don't want to use the ones that's in the GitHub SDK because I want everything to be defined in my own class for now. After, if I really wanna, I can, you know, redefine them somewhere else. I mean, use the other definition. So this is deployment. Okay, what is this? Deployment status state. Okay. Deployment status state. All right. And we're gonna use it right over, where are we right now? Okay, after ref, okay, so this is the one. What we're doing is this, so public, that is gonna be state. We're gonna get and set, and that should be it. After you, I'm gonna have public abstract class deployment DTO extends ID DTO, and we're gonna have to be honest, we should have something like this. Let's call it, let's put it way up here somewhere and call it creation DTO that extends ID DTO. And this one's gonna have, the thing that everybody has. Well, mostly everybody has. So create at and the creator. Where are you? Right here. And we're gonna replace things with these two fields with that. So we can delete these two, which feels good. can do it here as well. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. We should have a public commit DTO. Let's call it a commit. And let's check on commit DTO here. Yeah, that should be good. Should be good. After commit, we have commit OID, which is weird. But okay, yeah, sure. Description. And environment, what is that? Also a string. Okay, that's interesting. Latest environment. It's also a string. All right. And latest status. Okay, so that's gonna be deployment status fields. Deployment status fields is deployment status DTO in our C#, and here it is where we need an actual object to extend it. And I'm not too sure. Okay, so let's see where we're using this. If we're only using this by itself, then we can have a normal object instead of making it abstract. So let's search for it. Yeah, I think we're pretty safe to make it non-abstract. So let's come over here and delete that. Deployment. Oh, no, not deployment. There we go. Deployment should remain abstract for now, but we can see if we can make it non-abstract later. But this one we can delete, so we can do this public deployment status DTO. But what else I have? Oh, okay, status DTO. Yeah, that is correct. It is called the latest status, and we can do get and set, and we can do public what am I doing? Oh, string original environment. Payload should also be string, right? Yeah. Okay, and we have ref DTO, call it ref state, deployment state, which is the same as this one, right? Status state. Okay, what's deployment state? All right, a bunch of other things. Public enum. What? Deployment state is gonna be this. So yeah, right here we're gonna have deployment state, just call it state. All right, and task, what is a task? It's a string. Public date time offset. Yeah, that's gonna be updated at. After this one, we're gonna have a bunch of status, right? And the status, they are deployment status. Okay, so we're gonna do I realized I just made a mistake. So right here it should be nose DTO instead of enumerable of nose DTO, because we don't have that many nodes, we have that many reactables. Same thing's gonna happen here, so we have a node DTO, nose DTO of deployment status DTO. We call it statuses. Okay, and that's it for the deployment fields. Now let's see where we're using it. Okay, so deployment fields don't have to be abstract. We can delete this. Let's keep going. So for label, yeah, label can also be just a normal class. Label DTO can be what am I doing? ID DTO, and then I think color is a string, created add string, boolean string. Okay, all good. So public string color, public date time offset, created at, and we also have description. I really don't get how the auto completion thing works. Sometimes it's super reliable, sometimes it gives you really weird things. So yeah, this one's gonna be a boolean is not deleted, is default. All right, and this one's gonna be a string of name, and last one, daytime offset. data offset is updated at. All right. So after this one, we have issue or pull request fields, which I feel like we already have. Simple issues, simple pull request, and issue or pull request field is gonna be issuable, I think. So where are you? Okay, so right here we can make a comment. This will be used for issue or pull request fields. All right. Okay. Teams, I think we already have it. Mannequin as well. Bot, organization. Assignee is, we also have assignees, right? No, because for assignee, yeah, so for assignee and reviewers, they're also gonna be, yeah, so let's make a comment here. What? Not a summary, although that might be a good idea, but will be used for and this one. So now that we have everything defined, right? So up until here, these are all of our fragments, basically. And if we come down here, basically up to this point, maybe go a few more than that. So everything above this should be like either a common class or fragment, right? So everything else should be defined in a way such that it is either an object or something, right? So let's see. This is super long, by the way. So yeah, super duper long. So we have the outer data thing. That's okay. So the thing that contains the data that contains repository. Outer repository contains a few more things. So outer repository extends on repo DTO, so it has ID, name, owner. So it's pretty good. And one more thing that it has is pull request, which is fair. And pull request has ID, number, title. So what I think we should do in this case is to expand on some simple pull request DTO. I'm not too sure about that just yet. But you know what? This will do for now. More importantly, what it should have after this is that we should have, instead of reviews and comments and commits, we should have timeline items. So timeline items can be anything. So it's kind of really complicated. So this is where we need a common abstract class. Basically still takes the type name, Yeah, but the thing is, I just don't want, because I know like for loginable we have type name, right? That's, yeah. And we also have type name for issuable. I know they can be reused, but the reason why I don't want to reuse them is because once I get the name mixed up, it's gonna really hard for me to understand. So I'm gonna define a similar thing for me to use. Right over here. So basically public. Oh, and the thing is, okay, so let's still use abstract class. Abstract class, let's call it, let's just call it timeline item. And timeline item for now, from the look of it, everything has an ID, right? Or no? I want to say this one has ID. Nope. So not everything has an ID. So let's extend nothing for now. Let's extend nothing. And with that nothingness, we'll just have this first public string type name. It's type name, right? Alright, so we got type name, and we're gonna have get a set for the type name. After we'll just do basically this, I think. Yeah, so we don't need all of this. So public knows DTO of timeline item. And let's call it timeline items. And if you think about that, that's all of it. Now all we have to do is to define some complicated things that we don't know how. So first one first is pull request commit, and I do think it is right here. So pull request commit has ID, a URL, and PR commit that's fulfilled by commit. Okay, so why do we have all of this when we already have the commit fragment, right? So this must be early code where I haven't replaced everything with fragments, but that's okay. We can take a look, see if the object matches, and if they do, we'll just be able to replace it. So for the commit, we have OID, and of course SID, abbreviated OID, additions. This one doesn't have, but that's fine. Sorted by authored by committer. We have do we have message? Yeah, we have message. All the dates. Oh, author by committer, it does have it. That's cool. That's cool. And author, right? It's most importantly author. And committer, right? So yeah, we have all the things we need. That's good. Yeah, so for this one, we can actually replace it by ... commit fields, right? That's pretty good. So let's come down here for this one. We're progress commit detail. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna do it's a timeline item, right? So you gotta be proud of that. Okay, so right now we're gonna do public string URL. That should be it. But this commit thing, commit DTO is up here is abstract. And what I'm worried about is abstract cannot be created. So basically abstract classes cannot be instantiated, right? So for this one to work, I can still have it in the function signature, but let's see where this is used. So there might be a way for us to just make it non-abstract, and so far it seems like it doesn't need to be abstract. Yeah, I made it abstract for no reason at all. Okay, so that's a first, and that's done, right? So I think what we should do is to just call them timeline items. So user wrapper is not used by anyone right now. We can delete it. And I think commits, it's pretty much it. And let's unwrap reviews. And unwrap this region. And put this one a little bit above. And let's call it a region. Let's call it timeline items. I don't know if that'll work, but we'll see. And region. All right, so that's okay. All right, so that's the first one. Second is so the first thing was pull request commit, and the second thing is pull request commit comment thread. Okay, so this is where we do a little bit of rethinking of our strategy, right? So for commit comment thread, we're gonna know which commit it is coming from. So it is best to basically not. So what is this pull request commit comment thread of commit? So this is a commit, and that is also commit. So this is where we only need an ID. I don't think it's a good idea to have lots of things in here. We can still use the object, by the way, so in case that wasn't immediately clear. So what's right here basically is what we need to pay attention to. So this is the first query that has 3 abstract classes that we need to pay attention to. Yep. Can I do multiple abstract classes for a single object? I don't think I can. I mean, I can try. So this is the pull request commit comment thread. Pull request. We don't have that yet, so let's do this here. Public class pull request commit comment DTO, and it's timeline item. Timeline item is abstract, right? It is. So it's a perfect place for us to see if we can also do ID at the same time. So ID DTO obviously is abstract. That won't hurt anyone. So does that work? It does not work. So cannot have multiple base classes. Okay. Let's see how things like this are normally done, right? So C#, accept multiple extra class. Okay, seems like the strategy is to use interface, but I don't like interface because interface means I have to implement my properties in my classes, and the whole reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to implement the properties again, because I just don't want to type them out every place that I use them. Let's see if we have anything else we can use. Using interface. Alright, so this is suggesting me to use interface as well. Why do you do this? Seems like it's inevitable. So let's see. We have comment fields and reactable fields together for lots of times. Minimizable fields are mixed in it from time to time as well. So does this have minimize? This has nothing to do with minimize. Okay. So page info for that one. Reactable, comment, minimizable. These three often go together, and commit, that's for commit. User, page info, user is the most used, I would say. And in any case, that's actually it for the other things, right? So for everything down here, we don't use comment or reactable or minimizable. So yeah, I figure what I'm gonna need to do in this case is that I need to somehow combine them. So let's take a look. So other than minimizable, everything else needs to be combined every single time they're used. Where are they? Okay, so they are here basically. Minimizable detail. Yeah, I actually don't think they should extend from ID DTO, because if you take a look at the fragments, do they have IDs? Comments does not. So comments, no ID. All right. What about reactable? Reactable does have it, but should it? That's a problem, because wherever we're using this, they have their own IDs, right? Yep. They all have their own IDs. So reactable shouldn't have ID. Wait, why are we using this? Oh yeah, so reactable. Anything can be reactable. Okay, so where's reactable? It's right here. So I think comment and reactable can be combined together because they are always together. So in a way, I can do comments are reactables. Minimizable is another thing. Okay, so here's what I get from this. Because comment and reactable are always together, I can do this, right? So anywhere I use so this can never be used alone, so I'll never use it. Where am I using it? Where am I using? Okay, so this can be used alone, so that's fine. Let's see, where am I using this? 1 place, 2 place, 3 places, 4. That's it. So where am I using this? What? That's trippy. No. So reactable detail, you need to have your own thing, man. You can't just do you have reactions? Yeah, I think that's what I meant. Reactions DTO. So reaction is this, which is fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yep, it is mighty fine. So let's go up. You can be used by yourself in certain places. Nope, you cannot. Never. used by itself. Okay, this class is never used by itself. Might as well put it on the class. All right. So anywhere we need to use well, if that's the case, why don't we just merge it with comment? Okay, but anyways, so anywhere that we need to use minimizable, we are using these two, right? So that seems like the case for now. So this one has the other two, this one has the other two, this one has the other two. So for this one, we can extend from comment DTO. That's because anywhere minimizable is used, there's also comment and reactions. Okay, so that's kind of a way for us to do it. Not good for clarity because it doesn't make sense to extend like that, but you know, it's a valid strategy for us to do less typing. Yeah, okay, let's get through with this. So first thing first, we're gonna have public string ID, and after that we're gonna have public it's a commit DTO, what we call it, PR comment commit. And actually for this thing, what we should do is this basically. So public commit DTO, and we just call it commit, and this should be the normal property for this. And for this one, we can do get and set, right? Basically. And then we have public nose DTO of something. And this something is pull request comment, basically. Yeah, we don't have that. So let's create it. Public class pull request commit commit comment. So this is actually thread, right? Thread DTO, and this is just a comment DTO. So what is going to extend from is the minimizable DTO. Makes sense. And this way we'll just have ID published at. All right. Boolean viewer can delete. Viewer can update, and public boolean viewer cannot update reasons. Like, there's any way I care about that. Okay, press it in here and call it comments. All right, the comments. No, okay. That's one down. And per request review, we have this. So let's see, for this one, we're gonna need timeline item. Okay, timeline item. So we're gonna have our own ID, which is annoying for now, but we gotta have it. So let's, or hear me out. If we put ID, in the timeline item, it'd be so much easier because basically all of them has ID. And the only thing that doesn't have ID, revision marker, right? This thing just creeps the hell out of me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's for. Let's take a look. So it's pull request. Where are you? Oh, you're bugging out, of course. So subject. Okay, I think we already fixed it. We fixed lots of things that are not updated in here, but it's fine. Yeah. So for the subject, we definitely have fixed it. Yada yada yada. What are we looking for? Pull request. Should be way down the list. I don't see any. Okay, so pull request revision. There we go. Is it stuck? I think it is. Okay, so basically this thing has, oh, sorry, I bumped into the mic. This thing has the three things, represents the latest point in the pull request timeline. Okay. So this is the one thing that doesn't have an ID, right? If we go down to any one of them, the first thing they have is an ID. So we know that having ID is more preferred. In this case. Okay, we are running a little bit out of time right now. Yeah, I'm gonna stream for like probably 7 more minutes. But this is an interesting issue to solve. Basically, we are doing progress review. Yep, so this one. And we're just thinking about, right, like if we should do IDs in here, which is reasonable. So let's do it. Yeah, it's just gonna be null for the progress revision marker, but that's fine, I think. So let's extend from ID DTO for you. And this way we can delete all of y'all. Y'all free. All right. And yeah, let's take a look at the review thing, right? So for review, we have ID, we have a state, we have URL, a bunch of other things, okay? So viewers can delete, can update, and cannot update reasons. We see them at 3 places. And of the 3 places they are not all timeline items. That's for 1. So we may have to just type them out. So yeah, we just probably have to type them out every single time. Yeah, that's what's happening. Bear with me. So yeah, let's keep looking at this thing. Commit. So somehow review doesn't have commit anymore, and we're calling it ID DTO. We were way off before, so let's just delete this line. I don't know what we were thinking when we did that. So state needs some special care. URL is fine. These 3 items are here. Updated at is not here somehow. So okay, we don't have. Wait, author. The author. I mean, the progress review object is way off. Like, where is all the things? Comment field, is that where it is? Yeah, actually it might be, right? Like comment. For a comment field, we have the author, updated at, created at, last edited at, association. It's a bunch of things basically. So we don't have to worry. Like, we were worried for nothing, so we don't need the, oh, I see what's going on. So for this one to work, we'll have to not make it a timeline item, but rather make it a minimizable. Is that what you're saying? Yep, it seems like what's happening here. So reactables. Let's rethink reactables. Okay, so I think this is a good problem to have. So let's make a to-do here. this needs to be basically a comment detail, right? And timeline item at the same time. This is gonna be messy, and I mean messy. All right, so I don't expect this to be a really well-defined API, to be honest. After this, it's gonna be a pain to manage, but it's okay. It is absolutely okay. Yeah, sometimes it's just hard because I don't want to type out the same thing again. So every time if I make something abstract class, I just want to avoid typing the properties, because if you make it into an interface, the thing is, the properties you have in the interface, when you extend the interface, you still have to implement those interfaces. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, in my opinion. So we're gonna have to figure this out next time. I do appreciate everyone's watching, and thank you so much for joining my stream. I swear, like every time I say this, but I swear we're getting to the end of GraphQL. As soon as we are able to parse everything back into C#, we are completely back into the C# line, C# land, and like when that happens, we're gonna construct the objects to make the UI, and gonna make everything happen and make the whole thing look good. So be on the lookout for that. So tuning. I do stream every morning, Pacific time. It varies from 6 a.m. or 7, depending on how busy I am. But normally I try to start as soon as I wake up, and I wake up at 5. At least I try to. So yeah, that's good. Today's progress is pretty impressive, I would say. We somehow went through almost more than half of the queries, converting them to C#. And yeah, so I know this is tedious work. I every time I kept saying that I'm gonna try to do some of this offline, so we don't have to keep doing this during the stream. But you know how life can be life can be really busy sometimes, right? So I do thank you for watching. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my channel. Definitely check out JitHub if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.